Good day, everyone. Good day, Mr. Gullis. Now I will going to tackle communication ethics. Communication ethics is how a person uses language, media, journalism, and creates relationships that are guided by an individual's moral and values. Communication ethics is concerned with presenting the message in the most appropriate manner. Responsible thought, decision making, and the creation of relationships and societies within and across environments, culture, platforms, and media are essential. Ethical corresponds means conveying the message without offending the audience, avoiding the act of withholding crucial information, maintaining a relationship with the audiences, and giving accurate information. Now let's go to characteristics of ethical communication. There are four characteristics of ethical communication. The first one is all relevant information. In a conversation or any mode of communication, you may only provide relevant information if you do not wish to add a new topic of discussion. For example, you are part of a community project and you have a meeting with the members of the group. While the community is debating this, you might have read different Facebook messages. Then in a loud voice, you are going to say so everyone should hear the post that caught your attention. While some participants might be interested in the information presented, this conduct disturbed the meeting of the party. It is disrespectful and immoral to do. So we have to make sure that we just offer the correct details. Second is truthfulness in every sense is not deceptive in any way. Deceptive means elusive or it means is not is doesn't mislead in any way. When we talk, it is essential to be honest, particularly when something depends on it. It is right and the best thing to do. However, you can use the techniques to minimize the blast. So, for example, use the least harsh words to convey a devastating message. Even though harsh words siya, at least it is the truth that you will say. But but tungod kay harsh man siya nga word, to you should minimize to use that word. The third one is accuracy and sincerity. Avoiding language manipulates, discriminates, or exaggerates. It is not so new to us to say beautiful things to people that we should give them a favor. For example, you look so beautiful today. It is possible to borrow money. So dili na to pwede gamiton ang or we should say na dili ta o once gani nga nato kinahanglan sa isa ka tawo dili dapat nato bugal-bugalan una or atong bula-bulahon una. For example, maingon ta nga, "Uy, gwapo lagi karon. Pwede mo mo kwarta nga na." So dili na siya pwede kay mawala ang sincerity ug ang accuracy ana. Then to be an effective communicator, you must stop using a language that manipulates the audience. Some people appear to exaggerate the facts. That is quite clear in the gossip. It must be avoided, especially when we do not have any ill intentions at all. Next, and the last but not the least characteristic is the fair presentation of ideas. There are moments when we say things to reach a purpose as when we have to say things to protect ourselves. It is important to note that we need to be fair in presenting our ideas. We must be vigilant not to harm others in the course of achieving our goal. Fact Now we will going to tackle factors that affects ethical communication. Ethical aspects. The first type, ethical dimension, concerns what is to be revealed and what is not to be revealed. In a more straightforward way, what to say and what not to say. Lying is known to be immoral, but not saying something can be considered ethical, particularly if no one asks. So, for example, a friend of yours can enjoy something you find odd. Instead of dwelling on it, which might hurt her feelings, it is best not to say anything about her emotions. The ethical dimension gives us three easy choices to make: to speak, to listen, and to remain silent. Kung wala kay maayong istorya, you should be remain silent. Then, for example, another example. Your friend is sharing his issue with you. It is better to just listen. Just let your friend speak out everything that is troubling him and make him feel like he has so many ideas to share out of his mind. However, if you do not have anything positive to say, then it is best to stay silent. Timing is one of the keys that play a crucial role in determining whether to talk, listen, or remain silent. If your friend is still talking, if your friend is still talking, then it is best to listen to him first, then ask him if he wants to hear your thoughts. Timing is the key to consider when deciding on the ethical nature of the contact. So, so it is better to just listen, and if wala kay maayong mastorya or ma-react, just it it is best to remain silent. Next is ethical context. The ethical background remains essential in all modes of communication. Identifying the context of the speaker, the culture of the audience that we are going to address, the type of message that we are going to send to the people, the use of the language, and the location are all quite important. In this sense, it is essential to respect the multicultural environment in which the communication process occurs. Third one is the culture. The term community refers to the complex set of knowledge, traditions, language, laws, practices, customs, behaviors, attitudes, beliefs, and customs that connect and give a common identity to a particular group or of people at a specific time. All social units are forming a community, particularly in two-person relationship. A community is evolving. So, for example, um, for example, examples can include specific occasions, places, songs, or activities that have a particular and significant symbolic significance for two individuals. Groups also establish cultures consisting of law, rituals, costumes, and other characteristics that give identity to the social unit. A group usually meets whether gatherings begin on schedule, what issues are addressed, how decisions are made, and how the people socialize over a schedule, defining and different, differentiate, different, differentiating aspects of its community. Next, ethical dilemmas in communication. There are a variety of legal dilemmas in communication, but now we are going to think about four dilemmas for this lesson. The first one, there are four ethical dilemmas that we are going to tackle. Those are plagiarism, misrepresenting a number, selective misquoting, and distorting visuals. Plagiarism. So plagiarism is presenting someone else's work or ideas as your own, with or without their consent, by incorporating it into your work without full acknowledgement. So, as a college student, known na kayo para nato ng plagiarism. Kay kanunay ni ingon sa atong mga instructors in their orientation na plagiarism is not allowed. So kung sa pag elementary or high school maanad ta og copy paste ani sa college dili na mahimo. So in science, the type of quotation depends on the topic of the study. Researchers typically use the American Psychology Association or APA citation format. It includes the format of the author's last name and the date of publication of the work you list. Example, Tan, which is the author's last name, and the date of the publication, which is 2020. Another tip is to obey the rule stating that you should avoid using the same three words in the cited text in a consecutive sequence. You may use the same words, but be careful not to use the same three words in the initial series. So another technique of plagiarism is para dili ka ma para dili siya ma tawag ano para dili siya ma-consider as a 100% plagiarism, you should know how to paraphrase. Next is selective misquoting. Selective misquoting, deliberately omitting unflattering or damaging comments to paint a better but false picture of you or your group. So, selective misquoting means instead of saying, if you do not have anything nice to say, then do not say anything. You might say, if you do not have anything worth to say, just say it anyway because the truth is not that nice anyway. That means that you are modifying the original context of the text in question for your purposes. Such conduct is immoral and needs to be stopped. So, dapat mag-deliberate or unflattering comments para lang sa betterment but false picture of you or your group. Next is misrepresenting a number. Misrepresenting a number is an example of false numbers when you do a study or your theory has not been proved. You may change the result, change the data, increase or decrease the statistics to show that has been proven. Another example is when you change the graph curve to make the graph look more desirable. Such things are immoral and should not be achieved. It is essential to report the results no matter what the results are because they are without the exploitation of the author. So misrepresenting a number is kanang changing of results, changing of data para lang ang graph is to look more desirable even though it is not the truth. So for example, naa kay graph na gihimo, then tan-aw nimo murag dili gid siya ma-prove or dili siya ma-check sa imong advisor. So what you did is imong gi-change ang result, imong gi-change ang data para lang mahimo siyang more desirable, and that is immoral and should not be achieved. The last but not the least is distorting visuals. Visual distortion is generally used in business enterprises. This is achieved by making the product look more prominent, adding more colors, and using other similar methods that are misleading compared to the initial product. Have you been trying to shop online? If so, how was your purchase contrary to what was advertised? Yes, this is expectation versus reality or expectation versus the truth. For example, tanaw nimo sa tanaw nimo sa commercial or sa advertisement sa TV nga kanang nindot kayo ang pagporma sa fries, nindot kayo ang pagporma sa burger, na kuan ka kanang nadani ka. So naganahan kag palit kay abi nimo nga na ang porma niya ay nagpalit nimo. So pag-abot di ay pag-order so ni order na ka. Pag-order nimo, pag-abot di ay nimo, lain lagi ang gawas. So expectation versus reality. And that ends my report. Thank you and God bless.